YouTube says I am live, so welcome everybody to Tuesday night live Q&A with me, Dr. Andi. I am a doctor of chiropractic and I'm a certified animal chiropractor. I have been in clinical practice, for those of you that don't know me, for the last 20 years, seeing dogs, adjusting dogs, being with dogs. What I like to tell people is I play with dogs all day. So welcome. If you've been here before, love to have you back. If you're new, welcome. So we pop questions in the chat. I have a few things I want to go over housekeeping wise and kind of starting off the evening. We're going to do 30 minutes. We're going to get in, we're going to get out, we're going to get on with our lives. How cool is that? And of course, if you haven't, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, pass it on to friends. YouTube loves all of that. So it'll then show me to more people. So how does it get better than that? And we want to get some different points of view about pet health out into the world. And so I need your help to do that. This is not veterinary advice. This is information that you can then take with you out into the world, do your own investigation, do your own education, and do what works best for you and your pet in conjunction with your veterinary professional. There we go. Hi there, Jamili. How are you tonight? Let me see. Let me get the whole chat. Sometimes YouTube likes to tell me the top chat, not the actual live chat. I got all kinds of stuff over here. I'm assuming y'all can see me and hear me. If not, let me know. Oh my gosh, I've got so much stuff on that side. Okay. Oh, that's wonderful news. Jamili's working with her pup and many professionals doing a lot of her own education and research. She's working with her pup that was diagnosed with Addison. She's doing it without pharmaceuticals and keeping very close tabs on her. Yes, she is. She's doing an excellent job. So welcome to Animal Magic Care YouTube channel. We have renamed the channel. You're still in the right place. We are tightening up the brand. We're rebranding. If you haven't been over to Animal Magic Care, check out the new logo. It's so completely different. It's a little bit bewitched, a little bit Dr. Andi, a little bit just magical. And I'm loving it. It's just mostly fun. I just love it. We're working on drawings of my pack that we're hoping to get up onto the website too. So we're still doing a bunch of new stuff. And that is mostly around the introduction of my new Animal Magic community on Mighty Networks. I am creating a space that's not subject to algorithms, that will build community, will have others that have had experience, like Jamili's experience working with Addison's and her dog. She can now get in that community if she so chooses and helps others with that journey, because I haven't done that journey. She's done that journey. She has that experience. She knows what has worked for her and her dog that may work for somebody else. And so that's what I really like to build over there, along with courses, along with my other professionals that I love and adore. And you've met a couple of them here on this channel, Neely Piazza and Dana Chick, if they're interested, I'm quite sure, along with others that we're going to collect along the way. But we're going to build a community there. We're going to take it off of Facebook, off of Instagram. There'll be a little bit there, but I really want to build something that's not controlled by the algorithms, right? I know YouTube's not going to be happy with that. And I will still be here, but all the fun new live stuff is all going to be on that Mighty Networks community. It's the Animal Magic community. You can search that. And I believe Keisha will put the link to join in the show notes. So it'll be down below, all of you that are watching this on replay. Please come join me. I think, we have we literally just launched this today. So you are the very first you are the very first to be invited, and I hope you come and join me. Okay. Along the chat, pop in your questions. I will do my best to give some insight. If not, I have homework and I'll go learn something. I was looking up something for a client today. I love learning new things. And so pop them in the side here. Hopefully the chat is working. There's a lot of stuff over there today. I don't know why. And I'm working on my background, I moved offices around in my home, and now I feel like I'm like in front of a curtain in the theater. So I apologize. We're working on it. Okay. I wanted to talk about compensation. And a lot of practitioners, a lot of primary veterinarians get distracted by the shiny object. And let me explain. Okay, so I looked up the definition of compensation, and Google told me all about the compensation you get as in getting paid, right? You're getting compensated for your work. And so then I had to be a little more specific, right? And in the context of a body's musculoskeletal system, compensation, I'm going to read this off right here, refers to the adjustments or changes that the body makes in its movement patterns or posture to accommodate for pain, dysfunction, injury, or limitations in a specific area. When one part of the musculoskeletal system is affected, other parts may adapt in order to maintain balance, stability, and function. Okay? Lots of fancy words, right? So basically, when you sprain your right ankle, what hurts? Well, that hurts, right? But your left knee, your left hip, your left low back, maybe even your left or right shoulder will become problematic. Will start hurting, will get stiff, will be the compensation, because your body has to shift and move to work with that now injured ankle until that healed, right? And that injured ankle may not ever be 100% again. So some of that compensation may always be in the body, and it may always need to be balanced or maintained or managed. That's the word I want. Okay, that's in a human body. We usually go cross body, meaning if it's, like I said, the right ankle, let's just go left knee hurts. Okay. And then it might go back to the right hip, and then might go back up to the left shoulder. I mean, you could have, and then as a chiropractor, we may even find that the atlas in the upper cervical spine on that right side is bothersome. And maybe you're getting headaches. And who would have thought you'd end up with headaches because you sprained your ankle 10 days ago? It's kind of how the body works. It doesn't work that differently in our quadrupeds, in our four-legged friends, in our pets. So let's take an example of the dog that partially tears their CCL, okay? Or what's called the ACL in a person, the collateral ligament that supports the knee, okay? They partially tear that, so they have some knee pain. All right. Pet parent decides we're just going to let it heal up. We're not going to do surgery. All right. And the dog is limping on that leg. And then the dog is grumpy because then, let's say it was the right CCL, the left hip, left SI joint, sacroiliac joint, the left lower lumbars start to get really tight and sore because it's compensating. Okay. So I had a dog. And so that's where, even though, I'm going to go back to the knee really, really quick, and then I'm going to go on. Even though chiropractic's not going to fix that ligament, it's going to manage all the compensation so the body can heal. I'm going to use, it's not properly, but it's kind of properly. Like the body is going to heal in a more proper alignment. The vertebral motion is going to be there. That hip's not going to be so sore. We're not going to get so much muscle imbalance if we can continue adjustments for the compensation while the body heals that ligament in the knee. Okay. So this came up with a client last week. And that's why I say compensation and the shiny object. A lot of professionals, if that, I had a dog. I'm going to go back to the client. It's a medium, smallish poodle. I don't know, a 25-pound poodle. Super cute. And he's limping in the front left leg. Okay. He's actually licking his medial two toes too. They're all pink. From the saliva. So we know he's licking those toes. He's no other paws have any saliva staining. So ding, 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 not allergies. What's going on in that left paw on that left leg that he's limping on? Mom's super smart though. Super smart. And she goes, yes, he's limping in the front left. Yes, he's licking those toes, but he's been having problems in the right rear for a long time that I kind of noticed, and it would come and go, but it didn't really impact him. He didn't change his activity. He didn't, but she's noticed it. And so she asked me the question. She went to a regular vet. They did some meds. It was fine. It was helpful, but she knew it wasn't fixing the problem. Went to the neurologist. The neurologist was not very helpful. Just wanted to run an MRI, which he was responding to meds. He was better on meds. And so she's like, I don't know if that's for me either. But she asked me, why were they just looking at this front left and the neck, right? And that's where a lot of veterinary professionals get distracted by the shiny object. Oh, they're limping in the front left. That must be where the problem is. It's really not. Through my exam and through finding subluxations and dysfunctions in the spine, in the SI joints, in the pelvis, even looking up front into the cervical spine, most of the pain and what was really bothering him was in that right rear, right? The right sacroiliac joint, the right side of the sacrum, down into his coccyx bones, which is his tail. That's what he was like, hey. And all of that shiny object, left front limping stuff was compensation. And a lot of times the compensation becomes more painful than the problem. So I kind of refer to the limbs, especially in the rear, somewhat in the front, but I kind of my own terminology. We have the actual problem limb, and then we have the compensatory limb. And usually the compensatory limb has more muscle mass on it. It's tighter. The animal is more concerned about me moving it and touching it than the problem limb, which may have some arthritis in there, which may have instability and weakness and less muscle mass and less motion. But it's the compensation that has actually gotten more painful. We can also use the term organic. A lot of the front end limping is not the organic problem. It's not where that problem is. It actually lies in the rear. And our quadrupeds they're built to, I don't know if they love it, but they're built to have more weight up front and less in the rear. And so when the rear is sore or problematic, or we have a hip dysplasia, or we have arthritis in the lumbosacral joint, or our SI is restricted or stuck, better term, not a better term, but another term, we're going to move even more weight forward. Okay. And then maybe we only have limping up front. Nothing has ever limped in the rear. So a lot of times an exam at a veterinarian's office is, oh, they're limping front left. Let's just look at the front left. They don't even compare it to the right side, which I do. I want to see, okay, if we have extension, this much extension on the right, and we have this much extension on the left, well, that's going to tell me like, maybe we're not looking at the shoulder. Maybe we're looking at something else if we have equal extension. how much muscle mass have we lost from side to side? Because every being is different. Maybe they can't extend this left side, but you go and check the right. They can't do it on the right either. So, okay, what's going on? So a lot of times this information gathering, I give my clients an idea of what I'm thinking that first visit. I really love the second and third visit, really love the second visit, because owners are going to see some changes at home. I want to know what they are. I don't live with these animals. I do not know them very well the first visit. I'm getting an idea of personality, of how each of their limbs move, how much motion they have in the spine, what is their pain tolerance, what's their, personality like. Like, I got to get to know this animal. I do not assume I know this animal and how they're going to respond to musculoskeletal issues. Mom and dad have a better idea, right? They have a better idea of personality, pain tolerance. We can, breed and pain tolerance is going to go together, somewhat stereotypical stuff. But I want to hear what they see at home between the first and second visit. And then the second visit, they're a little more comfortable with what I'm going to do. And the body's going to show me a little bit more. I know. I got to throw in a little energetic, a little woo-woo. And we usually have quite a bit of change after that second visit. And I do want to see something after that first visit. Okay, so poodle friend comes back. Mom says he's a little better. I forget exactly what he was doing that he wasn't doing. So that's awesome. Great. We're going in the right direction. Are we 110% and we're feeling awesome? No, but we're going in the right direction. There's less saliva licking on those toes. The neck actually is not nearly as stiff and I can do this, right? Like, it's not nearly as stiff and restricted. And he didn't mind me touching his neck. He was a little like, let's not touch the neck the first visit. The second visit, he's like, go ahead, it's fine. Maybe mom said he was limping less in the front. Honestly, I'm sorry, I don't remember that detail. But that rear right was still very sore. That rear right sacroiliac joint was still very restricted and dysfunction. And the whole pelvis isn't moving like I'd like, and it's rotated. And we got in there and worked on those coccyx bones. And she goes, he's never liked getting his tail lifted for grooming. That tells me something. That tells me that's been there a really long time. And maybe it was a mild little dysfunction that started when he was 2, because he was pogoing on his back legs, slipped and landed on his tail, on his butt, and jammed those coccyx. No big deal. Went on with his life. Mom didn't notice anything. He gets up, he keeps going. 8 years later, and that restriction has turned into multiple levels. It's involved that SI joint. He's been, favoring that leg, moving more weight to that front left, compensation. And that's kind of the whole pattern that now we need to unwind with chiropractic adjustments. I looked at the front medial toes. I always forget, is it 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3, 4? But it's the medial midline toes. There's less saliva staining on them. So there's less licking. Mom says he's still licking, but there's less. Okay. And it takes a while to heal that up. And I was palpating them and they were very loose. It was very interesting. I go, of all the things you've done, what I'm most interested in would be an x-ray of his feet. And so you can see those toes, but not necessary to run off and do, because I believe that I'm still waiting on x-rays on him from the vet. Yes, I think so. I have a lot that I'm juggling. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see these toes. I wanted to see what they were looking like. Because maybe all of that going on in the rear. And what if these guys right here, these 2 toes in the front were taking the brunt of it? And that's what's really ouchy and painful. Kind of like my example in the person, right? We sprain the right ankle. The left knee hurts, the right hip. It goes up to the left shoulder and up to the right cervical, the right upper cervical, like atlas axis joint or occipital atlas joint. And now you have headaches. Why would you ever think spraining your ankle would give you headaches? It depends on how that particular body compensates for the change in function, the change in movement that occurred with that injury. Right? So this little pup, everyone was so focused on the limping in the front left, right? Concerned about the neck, absolutely. If you have limping, you're also thinking cervical in your pups, absolutely. It's all connected. One of my pet peeves is if they're limping and we get a picture of elbow and shoulder and nothing of the cervical spine. I'm like, kind of silly. It's all super connected and all the innervation comes out of the cervical spine down that limb, just like us, right? In your dogs too, right? You fall asleep, your hand falls asleep because you slept on your arm. The same concept, same innervation into your dog's front limb from the neck. They have a brachial plexus. It splits down to the ulnar and median nerves and innervates muscles and movement. Just because they're dogs doesn't mean they don't have the same and similar anatomical structures as we do. So keep that in mind when you're deciding on care for your animal, right? Like if you are avid, I go to the chiropractor when my back hurts, and you go to the chiropractor when your hands start going numb because you've been working at the computer more with your interior head carriage, and you notice, like on my little poodle friend, he's licking one paw. That is musculoskeletal in nature. That is nerve in nature. That is muscle in nature. That is not allergies. Okay. Find an animal chiropractor, go get in there, have them look at the cervical spine, get them adjusted. Dee Dee Mercer Moffat, CEO of Raw Dog Food and Company, and she has her Raw Dog Food Truth podcast that I'm on weekly. We talk about it all the time. One paw is not allergies. Okay. All four paws, belly, scratching, allergies. Okay. One paw, not allergies. It is probably something that I repeat on a weekly basis. And for whatever reason, the front paws are more affected and it's easier to resolve than rear legs. Just by how the brachial plexus are designed, how the dog is designed, and all of that jazz. But compensation, don't let your veterinarians and don't let yourself get distracted by the shiny object. Okay. Just because they're limping up front does not mean that's where the problem is. Is that the problem or the compensation is a great question. Have your vet, if that's where you go first, have them check the back too. See what's going on in the rear. See what's going on in the lumbar spine. And don't just assume. And vice versa. Okay. It rarely actually ever happens vice versa in my 20-some years where the problem is up front and we only notice it because there's limping in the rear. Usually if the problem's up front, it's very, very obvious. Because of that weight distribution of more weight up front, when the front is the organic problem, like we have elbow dysplasia, we have ligament laxity in the wrists, we've got arthritis in the toes, we've got a cervical nerve impingement due to muscle spasms. It's very obvious, at least I think it is, that it's a front end issue, that it's not going to be not noticeable up front and only in the rear. Usually we can have just symptoms up front and it actually comes from the rear. It's just more that weight distribution that kind of dictates that. So compensation and the shiny object. All right, folks, don't get distracted by the shiny object. Pay attention. And like my poodle friend's pet mom, his mom was brilliant because she knew there was something in the rear, and she had the intuition or the know-how that, you know what, I think it started there. We're seeing all this. Yes, that's a problem. We need to handle it, but it's actually coming from here. All right. So don't get distracted by the shiny object. That's what I really wanted to talk about in compensation. Don't forget about compensation. Okay, let me see. I don't think we had any questions come in. I hope you found that helpful. I hope a bunch of you will scroll through this on a replay status. I want to thank you for watching this Q&A. I hope that was helpful. I want to, again, remind everybody to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends and family. Let's get this out into the world. Some alternative pet health views, I guess we can go with that, and other things to incorporate onto your pet's health team, because we need a team. It takes a village these days to navigate everything for our pets. It's quite overwhelming, and that's also another reason why I started the Animal Magic community on Mighty Networks. There'll be a link in the show notes. Come over, join. It's free. It's just getting started, literally today, August 29th, 2023. We launched. So be kind as we start to fill it up with content. But that's we want community of everyone's experience with their pet so they can share it with everybody. That's what I do. I'm not a veterinarian. I'm not giving you medical advice. It's just experience, 20 years of experience. I've learned everything from my clients and their pet parents. They have filled my brain with so much stuff over all these years. So experience is important, and I want everybody to share that in the community, Animal Magic community on Mighty Networks. And more of the live stuff, all the fun stuff, we're going to take over there. I'll pop over here every once in a while, and we're going to, I think, put up some of the content here, but don't bank on it. Head over to Mighty Networks, join the community. Again, it's free too. Phew! Those half hours go by fast. You're very welcome, Keisha. Very welcome, Jamile. And thank you all for catching it here live and on the replay. I'll be back I won't be back next week. Next week, I think it's a holiday or holiday weekend-ish. I don't know. Don't listen to me. AnimalMagicCare.com if you want to get on the email list, or if you're in the Denver area, I am taking new clients. I would love to meet you and your pet. Okay, until next time, my friends, how much fun can you have with your animals? Bye-bye.